Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Look, if you're tuning in today, there's a fairly good chance that you, or maybe someone you care about, has recently gone through a cryptocurrency loss. And in diving into the research for This Explainer, one absolutely crucial truth just stood out to us. A crypto scam disrupts way more than just your finances. It's this heavy, overwhelming experience that can completely shake your sense of safety, your confidence, and honestly, even your trust in your own judgment. So right now, just take a deep breath. Today, we're going to walk through a structured, compassionate path forward using some truly incredible resources designed specifically for exactly what you're going through.
Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with Beyond the Financial Loss, move into Securing Your Digital Assets, then cover Weeks 1 and 2, Reclaiming Safety. After that, we'll hit Weeks 3 through 5, Trust and Quiet, followed by Weeks 6 through 8, Boundaries and Progress, and wrap it all up with Taking Your Next Step.
All right, let's dive into Section 1, Beyond the Financial Loss and the Hidden Cost of Scams.
So what actually happens after the money is gone? Well, scammers deliberately exploit trust, emotion, urgency, and the sheer complexity of crypto. Because of this, the aftermath of a scam usually leaves victims feeling incredibly isolated, just filled with self-doubt, and often questioning their own intelligence. Research actually shows that your mind and body can get locked in this high alert mode. It's a literally documented physiological response to financial deception. You might find yourself constantly replaying events in your head or feeling this intense, almost frantic compulsion to just fix everything immediately. It is so crucial to understand right now that these reactions, they are completely normal human responses to deception and uncertainty. What happened to you does not define your intelligence, and it certainly doesn't define your strength.
Moving right along to Section 2, Securing Your Digital Assets, and that crucial first 48-hour triage. Now, if this scam is recent, these are the immediate first 48-hour steps you absolutely must take. Number 1, stop sending money immediately, and I mean immediately. Even if someone promises they can recover your funds or demands taxes, fees, or verification, just cut off all communication with the suspected scammer and never, ever give them remote access to your device. Second, secure your accounts. Use unique passwords and set up multi-factor authentication for your email, your exchanges, and any financial accounts. Third, preserve all your evidence. Take those screenshots, save transaction hashes, wallet addresses, emails, and build out a timeline. And finally, notify your exchanges and submit official fraud reports like to the FBI's IC3. Oh, and a vital warning here, be highly alert for recovery scammers. Let me be clear, no legitimate person can guarantee the return of stolen cryptocurrency.
Okay, on to Section 3, Weeks 1 and 2, Reclaiming Safety and Introducing the 8-Week Guide.
Before we get into the timeline, I want to mention that this deep dive explainer is actually sponsored by gocrypto.org. They're an amazing educational initiative focused entirely on improving digital financial literacy and crypto fraud awareness. And they've created this incredibly powerful free resource called Refill by GoCrypto, an 8-week recovery guide. This guide is specifically designed to support the emotional and mental recovery that inevitably follows financial fraud. It offers gentle, really practical exercises to help victims rebuild their clarity, connection, and confidence just one small step at a time.
When we look at the overarching journey, you'll see this 8-week framework is intentionally laid out in manageable, bite-sized pieces. Weeks 1 and 2, those are all about stabilizing and reclaiming your sense of safety. Then, weeks 3 through 5 shift the focus to reconnecting with yourself and with others. Finally, weeks 6 through 8 are dedicated to securing that progress and really protecting your energy. Having this visual map is great because it shows us that recovery isn't about just rushing to a finish line, It's a steady, step-by-step process.
Now, there's this fascinating contrast introduced in Week 2, comparing blockchain speed with human speed. Think about it. Crypto moves incredibly fast, right? It's urgent, it's overwhelming, but your nervous system simply does not work that way. After a sudden loss, things like brain fog, exhaustion, emotional overwhelm, and decision fatigue are completely common. You might feel this intense need to research endlessly at blockchain speed, but what you actually need right now is human speed. You might just need to drink a glass of water, take a short walk, or completely step away from crypto news for the evening.
So this crucial point is summarized just perfectly in this quote from the guide. Healing does not happen at blockchain speed. It happens at human speed. Slowing down is not a weakness. In fact, intentional self-care, like saying, okay, I'm pausing my scam-related research for the next few hours, actually reduces pressure and supports much clearer, safer decisions in the long run.
Let's transition to Section 4, Weeks 3 through 5, Trust and Quiet, and Rebuilding Connection.
Week 3 is all about relearning trust. Because let's face it, fraud deeply damages our trust in platforms, in people, and often most painfully in our own judgment. But the guide reminds us that something so important. Trust is not naivete. Healthy trust grows from discernment, verification, support, and repeated safe decisions. And you rebuild this by making small, low-risk choices every single day. Things like pausing instead of acting under pressure, independently verifying a link before you click it, or asking a question instead of just pretending you understand. These are all little pieces of evidence proving that you can, in fact, trust yourself again.
Then in week 4, we tackle isolation. Scammers heavily use secrecy and isolation as tools of control. And look, shame might make you want to hide, but breaking that isolation is an absolutely practical recovery strategy. Building a support circle can span personal, professional, and community levels. But here's the thing. The goal here isn't to blast your story to the whole world. The challenge is simply to reach out to just one trusted person. And the best part? You don't need to explain every single detail or defend yourself. Sending a simple message like, "Hey, I don't need advice right now, I just need someone to listen," is incredibly powerful. Just that connection itself is stabilizing.
Week 5 introduces a really beautiful practice of presence. After fraud, the mind naturally goes into problem-solving overdrive, constantly replaying what happened and what you might have missed. This mental clutter totally interferes with sleep and focus. So the guide suggests a simple habit. Just 5 minutes of quiet, mindful breathing every day. It's not about emptying your mind or achieving some Zen perfection. It's simply about stepping back from the noise. If your mind wanders right back to the scam, just silently acknowledge to yourself, "Okay, I'm thinking," and gently return to your breath. It creates a little bit of much-needed space in your day.
Moving into Section 5, weeks 6 through 8, boundaries and progress, and moving forward.
Loss really has a way of dominating all of our attention. So in week 6, we have to actively retrain our attention to recognize forward movement, because progress is often really quiet. The guide encourages tracking just 3 small wins each day. And listen, these do not have to be massive breakthroughs. Getting out of bed, that counts. Resting counts. Organizing a single document, or just asking for help. These are all legitimate wins. Recording them helps make your invisible progress visible.
Week 7 introduces this concept of gentle boundaries. After going through a scam, you might feel a ton of external pressure to fix everything quickly, or you might find yourself stuck in endless, exhausting research loops. A gentle boundary is simply a calm, respectful limit that protects your time and your clarity. It could be taking a break from online forums, or just using a phrase like, "I'm not ready to talk about this right now," or "I'm focusing on next steps," instead of repeatedly revisiting what happened. Saying no isn't about shutting people out. It's about fiercely protecting your energy for your own recovery.
The core lesson of Week 8 is super profound. Measure your recovery by direction, not by speed. Look, recovery is rarely a straight line. There are going to be days that feel like a massive setback, but progress is not defined by how fast you're moving. It's defined by the fact that you are moving in the right direction. Answering a tough email, making a safer decision, or just recognizing a moment where you actively protected your energy, even slow movement is still movement, and that is absolutely worth celebrating. And finally, Section 6, taking your next step, empowerment and resources.
Once again, we really want to thank our sponsor for this explainer, GoCrypto.org. They don't just offer this 8-week recovery guide, they provide an absolute wealth of free resources designed to empower you. Whether you need a step-by-step guide for filing an IC3 report, a literal phone script for calling the U.S. Secret Service, practical frameworks for crypto tax compliance, or even guides on how to talk to your family about the loss, they have all of it. I highly encourage you to visit GoCrypto.org to download the full Refill 8-week recovery PDF and just explore these incredible tools to help you take back control.
I want to leave you with one final, grounding thought straight from week 1 of the guide. The scam is something that happened to you. It is not who you are. So instead of looking at the massive mountain of recovery ahead of you, I want you to look right at your feet. Ask yourself, what would help you feel just 5% safer right now? Is it drinking a glass of water? Is it closing your laptop for the night? Whatever that small, grounded choice is, that is your next step. As you take it, remember that protecting your digital safety going forward is a skill you can build, not some secret you're excluded from. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and please take care of yourself.